When did I start writing? Oh boy. Well, let's see. 40 some odd years ago. I was 8 years old, third grade. We had to enter a book contest. Everybody in third grade had to enter a book. Um, I entered this little children's book called Topaz and His Adventure, and I won.
Oh my gosh.
So my book was bound by a professional bookbinding company and sat in my elementary school's library up until the elementary school got absorbed into a different, that they combined like three elementary schools into one. And I have no idea whatever happened to that book. And somewhere in all my paperwork. I'm pretty sure I still have the original notebook papered version of the book, which if I ever find it, I will go ahead and release it. But I would say somewhere between ages 6 and 8. So somewhere between 48 and 50 years ago, I started writing, and I haven't looked back since. When I went indie in 2000, right at the height of COVID and everything, I was lucky enough to get an audition for my book Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray from British actor Max Brown. And for those of you who are not familiar with Max Brown, he played Edward Seymour on The Tudors. And he was recently on the Sister Boniface Mysteries. Um, I also know him from a TV show called MI6. And I it was just one of those rare occurrences that you know, kind of blew everybody's mind. And a former coworker of mine did a podcast called Task Force Geek with some friends, one of those friends being Dirk Hooper. And my friend Walt, he was like, you got to get on Task Force Geek and tell your story and tell people you've got a bona fide actor reading your book. And so he arranged it, and I went on Task Force Geek, and I hit it off with Dirk so well that he invited me to come back and come back and come back. And at the time, we were reviewing and talking about the Marvel TV shows, Marvel movies, the Star Wars TV shows, things going on in the comic book world. So it was like it was perfect, and we had a blast with it. So it was in 2022, after 2 years of doing podcasts with these guys, that I decided to, set up the Book Crew podcast. And I started it, and I did a couple of episodes by myself. And then we moved. And year before last, let's see, this is 26, 2024, Dirk and I talked about resurrecting the show and, doing it together. Because as you saw, we have a lot of fun when we get
Yeah,
going.
they bounce very well off
Yeah.
of each other.
So,
Mhm.
so that was how I actually got into doing podcasting and doing interviews like this. When I first started doing interviews like this, I was a nervous wreck, but the more I do them and the more I do the podcasts, the easier it becomes.